I'm Brian. Welcome to another episode of Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. So in the last video, I have explained how I set up this team, and in this video, we are going to start the game. Alright, so as I've mentioned, I will be playing this game in Supreme Jerk difficulty. It keeps the game difficult, reasonably difficult. If you are starting to play this game, maybe you are playing it on Switch for the first time, or other platforms, you might want to start with seasoned or even rookie, because the game sometimes can be, particularly the start of the game can be very difficult, even with a very well set up team. So if you're starting, you are better to go with rookie or seasoned. You can always change this difficulty in game when you find the going is too difficult as well, or too easy for you. So, and we are going to start with a Supreme Jerk.
What comes after the end? I don't know. Neither did they. They were just an Army engineer battalion, constructing roads and bridges deep in the middle of the Arizona nowhere. They didn't know why Armageddon had come. They'd heard radio chatter about an attack on some space-based missile platform. But who had attacked it, or why? No one knew. What they did know is that the politicians and the generals had finally ended the world. Now, everything was gone. They took over a federal prison for a fort, kicked out the convicts, got busy starting from scratch. Maybe it was an act of mercy. Maybe they figured that the prisoners would die out in the harsh new world. Whichever, it came back to bite the engineers in the ass. Cultists, criminals, cannibals. They've been living with the fallout ever since. Good people had survived too, called for help in the night. And those engineers, those common soldiers, could not stand by and see them die. So they came out of their fort, and they helped the survivors defend their homes. And for that, they earned a new name, a proud name, the Desert Rangers. Now, Rangers, I know at times it seems our cause is hopeless, and I know it's hard to say goodbye to a brother in arms. But I want you to know something else, that no Ranger who dies in the line of duty will ever be forgotten. nor will he have ever died in vain or unavenged. Thank you, recruits.
A stiff-bearded older man wearing a hard-worn ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip, and there are a lot of notches on the barrel.
I appreciate you coming to Captain Ace's retirement party when you hardly knew the man. Appropriate, too, seeing as how investigating his death will be your first duty as a desert ranger.
How did Ace die, sir?
Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal, but sadly Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen. Yeah, I know. You've hardly found your feet with us, and here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now. Ranger teams Abel and Charlie are out west trying to stop a range war out there from becoming straight-up genocide. And Team Baker is up north looking for a way through the radiation that's cut us off from Vegas. I'm afraid the next generation is going to have to lead the charge on this one. The voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us. When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal. I'll give you the locations of the towers once you have the repeaters in hand. More important to find them first. Don't know, but it wasn't on Ace's person when he was found. Look for it. It might have some clues as to his death. The mission is this: search the area where Ace's body was found and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Ace's death must be avenged, and it will be. But finding the signal he died trying to track down is just as important. Besides, I got the sneaking suspicion that when you find the one, you'll find the other. It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map. There you go. Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business. Once you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, then you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger, and we won't let you in.
Okay, so General Vargas has given us a little bit of background story of what has happened. A ranger Ace has died on a mission to install the repeater units for radios that they have been receiving some of the calls, some of the broadcasts lately. So they are very concerned, and they want us to try to find out what went wrong, basically. And here you can see that this is the very first skill checks. The smartest, hardest skill checks where we can use it to try and get through the situation. So let's give it a try. Maybe we should just use kisses.
Kissing ass already, huh? Well, some folks in the Waste can be persuaded that way, but not everyone. I've been buttered up by the best of them, so I'm wise to those tricks. You get through our doors with deeds, not words, recruits. Good try, though.
So you can see a little XP bling here. If you use a skill and it is successful, you can gain the experience.
Good out there, recruits.
Alright, so the first thing we are going to do is to take this shovel. Okay, let's see. Yes, the shovel is very important. You have various mounts to dig throughout the game. You can dig up treasures, you can dig up all kinds of junks, things like that. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so this is the Ranger Citadel entrance. Let's talk to this guy. There's a ranger in scarred but spotless combat armor stands at attention before the doors of the Ranger Citadel. He gives you a friendly salute. Okay, let's see, but alright, use his ass. Okay, so what this does is that we use the speech skills, and then open up different dialogue options, so that we have obtained a Mississippi Mule, a shotgun, and some bullets as well. Not that there is a shotgun users in a group, and it is not really a very powerful weapon, but it's worth more than nothing. So also you can see here the first vendor that we are going to run into. We'll be using her quite a while before we can actually enter the Ranger Citadel. As General Fargus has mentioned, if we succeed in the mission, we'll be allowed in. So I think she'll give us some background information. I'm not going to read them all out. Okay. Alright, let's see what we have to trade. Sell this right away. These as well. Let's see. I believe not much else. 109. Okay, we'll save up the money and try to get some of the goodies. Alright, let's see.
Hey, Ep1, mind picking up that can over there for me? Think there's some water in there.
Alright, so I'll put the shovel on. So you can see here there is a mound to dig. Let's try to see what we have in here. Some ammo and then some junk to sell. Yeah, just take them all. Alright, you can see here your the Loca, Very Brigo, and Rook. These are the backup recruits. in case one of your original four members die in combat. But obviously they are not very well created, have very strange stats and some skill sets that simply doesn't work very well together. So you should just avoid having your rangers die in action instead of relying on these backup recruits. More mounts to take. Hey, more junk. Right, you can see here Ranger Brass Knuckles, Brass Knucks. We'll have an item later in the game where we can give it to him. But yeah, for the moment we'll just mark his location and move on. Alright, you can see here that it's just so let's give it a try. Let's take a look at it. It is locked. Carefully examining the fence finds a lock. Alright, let's see. I have someone to try to lockpick it. So it's basically just that we need to try to get in. There is no penalty for breaking in here. Alright, let's take a look. Wow, an R270 and some sniper ammos as well. Very good. I just distributed. So you see here, you can have a instant upgrade of weapons. In this cache, the drops are random. This time, we are actually very lucky because this sniper rifle is actually pretty good. Sometimes you'll get like something like a sap gloves or I don't know, maybe other stuff that you may not need to use. So in that case, you can just before opening the box, save the game, like with a save the game, and then if you open something that you don't really want, you can just load the save and try again. I will not be trying to do that. I try not to save scum too much. It makes for a very uninteresting gameplay for me, but if it is your thing, you can just try it out and get the best results. It's a single player game. It's not like you're hurting anyone by doing this. Alright, energy cells will be useful in after quite a couple of chapters, so alright, let's check the other side of this place. More mounts to dig up. Right, distribute ore. Okay, more junk to sell, I guess.
God damn it, Ace. You never should have put down the wrench and picked up the gun.
Okay, so here is the first companion that you can recruit. She's Angela Death. We'll talk to her now.
Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits old Vargas trained up. Lord, y'all just babies.
Saw you at A's funeral. You knew him well?
They all hurt, but this one... Man, Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not at first. He worked as a driver and mechanic for Fair and Brygo up in Vegas. When Base Cochise started sending its death machines into the desert, Brygo sent Ace south to recruit robot fighters. We met him in quartz. He'd pissed somebody off out there and they'd locked him up. We sorted that out, and he started running with us, helping us fight Cochise, and never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and the hat, but I don't think he ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's... God damn it, Ace. I knew this one was trouble. I knew it.
How well do you know General Vargas?
Better than he'd like. Back in the day, the General was the craziest of us all. But somehow, after he brought down Base Cochise, he became the sanest. Now he's running the whole show and doing a damn fine job. While I'm still walking patrols and answering radio calls. Shows you how much ambition I got, huh?
Baby sauce?
Sorry, but you are. As cute as little kittens. Y'all remind me of us. Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me. Back when we were just starting out. Thinking we were gonna save the world for the future. Thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry. Don't listen to me. Youth is good. Optimism is good. If we all started out worn out and jaded like me, nobody'd ever try to change the world. So you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time.
I see you have A's name tattooed in that heart on your arm.
You noticed that, huh? Well, Ace always said I wore my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, me and Ace. We were more than just old army buddies, if you know what I mean. That's why it hurts so bad. That's why I want to come with you.
Where's Quartz?
Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher, he'd know.
You thought A's mission was trouble?
He was working on the same thing Vargas has you working on. Trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edges of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me. But then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I asked him to let me come with him when I met him at Rail Nomads to give him the repeater units. But he told me to go back to base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts had spooked him. I should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him?
What was Base Cochise?
An old military facility from before the war. And the biggest fight the Rangers ever had. There was some crazy computer in there that kept spitting out robots and sending them off to kill people. We had one hell of a fight putting it down. Earned our stripes that day. Literally. That's when I became Captain Death.
So General Vargas used to be called a snake?
Well, like I said, he was one wild-ass son of a bitch back in the day. But I think the weight of his responsibilities has kind of squashed that out of him now. He hasn't been in a decent bar fight in, shit, a decade maybe?
What happened to Hellraiser?
He's another one gone. Went out for a patrol a few weeks back and never came home. Don't know if he's dead or AWOL or gone off to join the Scorpions. All anybody knows is he hasn't called in, and we haven't heard from anybody who's seen him. I miss old Hellraiser like blazes. Didn't talk much. Didn't make friends easy. Wasn't big on social graces. But he was as loyal as they come. And when the shit started flying, he was the guy you wanted at your back. He didn't win that name by accident. Sharp as a razor. Scary as hell.
Where's Thrasher now?
You better call him Gilbert now. Funny, back in the day, he just seemed like this big old growly bear. Strong as an ox and just about as articulate. But then he got all torn up during our fight with the robots from Base Cochise, and he couldn't go out on patrol no more. Any other commander would have handed him his walking papers, but Vargas doesn't dump old friends. So he started him working in the museum. And once you know it, turns out the old bear has a knack for cartography. He's been gradually mapping our little corner of the Wasteland ever since. Who'd have thunk it?
Tell me about the Rail Nomads.
Could be a nice little place if the Atchisons and Topekans would kiss and make up. I can't even remember what it's all about. But between them, they got enough old railroad tech that if they worked together, they could give this area a real transportation system. Instead, seems like all they want to do is blow each other's heads off. Idiots.
Know any more about these repeater units?
I don't really know the details. It's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo about transmitters and north-south axis and signals bouncing off the clouds. Ask Woodson about it. He's our radio genius.
Have you heard any of these strange broadcasts?
Ace played me some of them before he died. Hard to make out a lot of it, but what I heard made my hair stand on end. Some guy talking about turning men into machines. Or machines into men, or some shit. But the crazy thing was, then he starts talking about us, the Rangers, saying we're the cause of all the trouble in the world, and we need to be wiped out so his glorious future can be born. I mean, who is this guy? Where is he? What the fuck does he have against us?
Computer was making the robots?
Yeah, the base Cochise AI. Don't know what was wrong with it. Broken, I guess. It thought everybody was its enemy. Wanted to kill the whole planet.
And the red scorpions?
You weren't briefed on those fucks during your training? Well, let me fill you in. You know when we left the prison and moved here to the Citadel? Well, the Scorpions were the jerks who moved into the prison when we moved out. Just a bunch of rangers back then, but they've been getting more organized. Call themselves a militia now, and they try to act like they're the Desert Rangers of eastern Arizona. Well, that's a load of horse shit. The protection racket ain't the same as protecting people. They shake down all their towns for money, and if the locals don't kick in, they smash them up. The Rangers aren't like that. We get by on donations and good old-fashioned scavenging.
Do you know Woodson?
Radio technician Wade Woodson? Sure do. He's the guy that makes sure you can hear Vargas when you're out on patrol. Keeps the machines running and the signal clear. He'll also talk your ear off about circuits and frequencies and I don't know what else if you let him. But be nice to him. He's your lifeline to the base.
What can you tell us about Eastern Arizona?
Basically everything between the prison and the radiation clouds to the east. There are a few small towns and farms out there, which the Scorpions claim is their territory. Rangers used to patrol that area before we moved here, and we knew it pretty well. But a lot can change in 15 years. Who knows? Maybe it's all as clean and nice and crime-free as the Scorpions say it is. But I've got my doubts.
And radiation clouds?
The edges of the map, kiddies. Big hot areas we can't get into without getting cooked to a crisp. The clouds move around some with the wind and the weather, but there are permanent hot spots on every side of us. North, south, east, and west. Until we started hearing those weird broadcasts, I kind of thought those clouds went on forever, and that Arizona was the last place on Earth. But maybe there's more people out there. Maybe the whole rest of the world's just fine, and we're the only ones in hell. Wouldn't that be a joke?
All right.
Say, listen. Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset to be professional about it. He didn't want me going off half-cocked and shooting up all of Arizona looking for his killer. But I'd gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we'd been fighting side by side for nigh on 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged. So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along and be in at the kill, well, I'll help you find your feet out there. Maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be old and slow, but I know the wastes like the back of my hand. What do you say? Cool. No need to tell Vargas why I joined you. If anybody asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, all right?
Okay, so we have successfully recruited Angela Death. Not much of work here. She's basically your starting guide here. She has quite a good stats as well. Let me see. Yeah, she's level 7 as well. So very powerful in combat, particularly in the early part of the game. So yeah, here has assault rifles and also the Ace's wrench we will equip here. Let's see. Alright, so we have completely explored the whole places for the moment, and because we are not going to be led into the Ranger Citadel just now, we are going to sell some of the junks right here. Alright, I'll just sell junk. Alright. Anything more I can sell? Maybe I'll just sell this hunting rifle as well. Okay, so you can see here a shooting radiation suits modifier is a +2 radiation protection. You've heard Angela Death mention the radiation clouds. There are hotspots on the map that you can't cross without the appropriate protection. You get damaged very quickly and die very quickly. So these are basically items that can unlock you to go to certain other areas that may be blocked by the radiations. Right now we are not going to purchase it because what we are going to do in the immediate future is we do not need the suits right away. Okay. Alright, I guess I will just end this episode here. In the next episode, we will venture out into the wasteland and take a look at what's going on, and maybe we can start off our first fight as well. So for the moment, I'm Brian, and I'll join you in the next video. Goodbye.